Hi everybody, this is Angie from Tourangie.com, and today I'm in Plant City. Do you see the water tower painted like a strawberry? Well, I'm going to be stopping up here to get a closer picture of it, but this is Plant City, Florida, and it is home to the Strawberry Festival, so that is why there's a water tower painted like a strawberry. Thought it was pretty cute. Anyway, we're going to be driving to downtown from here. I just wanted to show that in the beginning of the video, the little water tower. But we're going to drive past the Railroad Museum, and we're just going to talk about some of the history, and I'm going to show you some of the downtown area. Plant City is known as the winter strawberry capital of the world. It's kind of interesting, so of course that's why there's a water tower painted like a strawberry. But they have a strawberry festival every year here, and I've mentioned that in my other videos too. We will not be going by the festival grounds because right now, of course, the strawberry festival is not going on, but it may make a visit in a future video. We'll see. But we're going to talk about the strawberry festival. So it started in 1930. So we are like close to 100 years of a strawberry festival. And back in the day, it was actually started by the Lions Club. And the only time it was shut down and not done annually was during World War II. So that was from 1941 through 47. But then the American Legion helped to start it getting reactivated in like 1948. And it's been going ever since. So they always have big name musical events there. And, you know, there's like flea market style. There's crafts and items for sale. There's always, what would you call it, like amusements there, like a Ferris wheel and different things. And usually, like recently, it's been more like 500,000 people to visit the Strawberry Festival. It's a 10 or 11 day festival, and it's always the last week of February through part of the 1st of March there. So it's 10 or 11 days long. So if you're in the area, if you're in Tampa, you should come over to the Strawberry Festival at some point in time if you're here during that time of the year. So you would think that, well, the name Plant City, it's because of the strawberry plants. That's why it was named Plant City. Well, you're wrong. It is named after Henry B. Plant, and he is the prominent railroad developer of this area. So we're going to talk about him and the history of him for a little bit. Henry Plant was born in Connecticut in 1819, and he was a businessman. He actually came to Florida because of his wife. She was ill and she needed to go south per doctor's orders. So his first time to Florida had nothing to do with the business. It was due to his wife. And they stayed in Jacksonville for a few months. And that's where he started to see the potential that Florida had in linking it to the rest of, well, the United States. So he was very involved in the railroad. He had steamboats to go to Cuba, to Key West. He built or bought 8 hotels in the Tampa area, one of which was at the very end of his railroad line. So he's basically did the same thing as Flagler did on the east coast of Florida. It's even mentioned that Flagler and him were friendly rivals. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So when him and his wife had to come down here for her health reasons for several months at a time every year for a little bit, that was before the Civil War. So during the Civil War, he had, it's a very little interesting thing. He got something from Jefferson Davis, who was the president of the Confederacy, because he was in the South, and it was like the version of their passport. And he ended up in Bermuda and you know, just different places or whatever. But it ended up, of course, you know, with it being the Confederate passport of sorts, considered it was not valid. So he ended up having to get a French passport and then declaring himself as a U.S. citizen residing in Georgia. And that led him to do some extra traveling in Europe and be able to enter the United States by way of Canada to New York. So I thought that was pretty interesting on how he did that. So he wasn't really like involved in the Civil War or anything like that, but he had uh, met with Jefferson Davis and was getting one of those passports, I guess, the Confederacy passports. So it's pretty interesting since he was down in the South a lot with her. She ended up dying, and he ended up remarrying later on. But after the Civil War, the South was very depressed, and not a lot. There was a hard time rebuilding. So that's where he came into play with helping with the railroads. He found opportunity and convinced the economic revival of the South. He bought stuff during foreclosure sales, and then 1879, 1880, the Atlantic and Gulf Railroad and the Charleston and Savannah Railroad. So that is where he started to really be known for the railroad stuff. So we are basically, I guess, here in the downtown area. You can see that I'm traveling some of these roads here. They're a little bit bumpy. It's, the original bricks from downtown. This is the historic district, and we're crossing the railroad tracks and different things. But there is plenty of, there's a little museum over here. So over on the left, you can pull into the parking places over there. It's a little parking lot, is the Plant City Union Depot, and it's on the National Registry of Historic Places. That's by the U.S. Department of the Interior. And right beside it is the Train Museum, which is the Robert W. Williford Railroad Museum. And it opened in 2013. But the Union Depot was 1909. So Robert W. Williford, he was a locomotive engineer. He's retired. He was from this community here, Plant City, and that's why the museum is named for him. Now I'm doing a circle of this block just a couple times. You can see right over here on the right a mural. I'll try to get a better view of it by turning around and circling the block and coming back through. As you can tell, my camera does not do justice with the glare and everything. I normally have my cell phone camera in the dash recording, and it does a lot better. This other camera that hangs off of my windshield does not do near as good as I would like. But when you have to use your cell phone for its GPS because you're not as familiar, you have to do what you have to do to record stuff. But it's a cute little downtown area. There's some restaurants, some antique shops and different things. There's the Whistle Stop Cafe, which I was going to go to, but it's actually closed right now for a remodel for the next couple weeks, so I wasn't able to go to. But there's some cute little shops and stuff. It's just a small historic downtown. Look at the old buildings. I love looking at the old buildings in a downtown area, so it's really, really neat. I guess I could talk some more about really early Plant City history. So we're talking about like the 1800s. This was known for being a Native American village, and it was called Adashukshed. I can't pronounce it. Adasukshedd. And then in around 1860, it became known as Cork because of the Irish community that lived here. I thought that was pretty interesting, little bit of information. There is the Burton Memorial Library, the Quintella Gear Burton Memorial Library. Burton was an important person to try to get the library here in Plant City. Originally, there was going to be one in like 1917, but there wasn't enough interest in it. And it turned out to be 1925 when the city sold municipal bonds with the understanding that some of those funds would go to the library. But it still took a long time for there to be a library in the area. So we're coming back around this corner to get a good look at the mural that's painted on this wall. There is a actually a ban on murals now, because back a while back there was a mural painted and it looked, um, I guess it had a feature to it that did not seem to be appropriate. So they've basically said that no more murals could be put up. But here's a pretty decent view of the mural, or one of the murals that's on the walls here in Plant City. I think the mural ban was in 2009, but it was I think the mural that caused the problems was later taken down or something. But anyway, it's prevented future murals from going up. But that's about all I have to say about Plant City. It's just a cute little downtown area here. Like I've shown in other videos, there's other things to see and do, from the Strawberry Festival to get your strawberry milkshake or strawberry shortcake, Dino World, Keel Farms. There's plenty to do in this little, what you would call, suburb of Tampa. There's also a city just across the county line. It's called Lakeland, and it's a really nice city too, with a nice downtown area and everything. But I'm glad you've watched a few videos that I've made here about Plant City. And this is Angie from Tourangie.com. Come to my website, read my blogs, make appointments so I can help you plan your next travel adventure. Talk to you later.